I'm really excited, not just about this film, but also about this filmmaker. And we are thrilled that the film is getting a release and that we are able to be a part of that tonight.
Charismatic.
Opinionated.
Really a good storyteller.
He had a presence.
He had the worst possible gas.
It's going to be a great doctor.
Well, the phrase I was going to use had been full of life.
Do you know who that is?
Andrew. Why did Andrew get killed?
I'm an only child, and I'll get around to why this is of any importance whatsoever.
When I had to say, was my son murdered? And take that into your soul. And then to know how cold-bloodedly he was murdered.
He wanted to break up with her. Oh, she said, that's it then. She was dumped again.
Unfortunately, she made it to Canada before they could arrest her. On the afternoon of November 7th, 2001, my sister called to tell me that Dr. Andrew Bagby, my closest friend since the age of 7, had been killed. My name's Kurt, and I'm a filmmaker. Andrew appeared in every movie I made growing up.
Jesus Christ, Kurt, what do you want? I mean...
No, I just need...
I decided to make a movie, to travel far and wide, to interview everyone who ever knew and loved Andrew.
Kurt, I just got a call from Mrs. Bagby. The abbreviated version is that bitch held a press conference and announced she's 4 months pregnant with Andrew's baby. They can't prove it until the child's born. If it is true, the Bagby's are going to sue for custody.
She named the little boy Zachary.
I am completely awestruck by, obviously everyone in the film, but especially Kate and David Bagby, who are some of the strongest people that I've ever seen, whether in a movie or in real life or anything. Can you tell us a little bit about the first time that they saw the film and what their reaction was?
Sure. The first time that they saw the movie, it was longer than this. I actually showed it to them on August 18th, 2007, which was the 4-year anniversary of the day Zachary was killed. I was about finished with the movie, so we picked that date, and I raced to make it to show it to them that day. It's funny because everyone else there was crying and hugging and saying just how much they loved it and everything. And Andrew's parents didn't say a lot. And finally somebody said something about the music or something that they liked the music or whatever. And Andrew's dad said, you know what, I didn't even hear it. and he said, honestly, my emotions were up here through the whole thing. So he said, I'm going to have to watch this at least 2 or 3 more times before I even know what I'm looking at. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I thought you guys didn't like it or something. It's like, no, I just honestly don't remember what I just saw. Because I was just it's just like a red blur to me right now.
A lot of this movie is you traveling the world really and finding out about your friend Andrew, and I'd like to hear from you, what is your favorite thing about Andrew that you remember?
That's a really hard question to pin it down to one thing. I could say his sense of humor, because he was always so funny, but that doesn't really encapsulate. It's more the warmth that humor brought, and it was just sort of there was an interview our friend Matt gave, the one Andrew's best man speech to Matt is excerpted several times in the film, and Matt sort of, I remember when I asked him, what's the first thing that comes in your mind when you think of Andrew? And he said, I think of a house, and a house that you come home to after a long journey, and it's warm and the fire's going inside, and all these memories are wrapped up in this house, and it just feels like returning home, and there's nowhere else you want to be. And I sort of feel like that description maybe kind of wraps it up, that with the humor and everything else is... I don't know, it's like coming home. I don't know how else to describe it. I do not feel that she has any excuse that there is no excuse for murdering an innocent person, who has done nothing wrong to anyone. And what her reasons were, they're not excusable, so I don't care. My interest was, once you've identified that there's a person out there who thinks they have the right to kill people they're mad at, get them off the street so they can't do it again. When the child death review was released in October, none of the people who let her out on bail or defended her ever made any statements after it. The Social Services and Child Protection Division in Newfoundland did get really defensive after the review came out, because the review really it couldn't deal with the issue of bail because the review was conducted at the provincial level, and bail is a federal issue in Canada. So the review recommended that the federal government do their own review of this case and make the appropriate adjustments to bail law. They have not since done that. I've corresponded with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in Canada about this film and this case. I'm in the process of trying to get the film screened before Parliament right now. I did get I wrote letters to every single member of Parliament about it when it was having its festival premiere in Canada. I did get a senator from Alberta out to see it last month with an audience of his own constituents, who gave it 2 standing ovations in his presence. So that I think they're starting to become aware of us. I chose to make the key focus of this movie the issue of bail because social services did drop the ball numerous times, and they themselves could have prevented this outcome if they'd done their jobs right. They were providing services to Shirley as services to the mother, as opposed to looking at Zachary as a child protection case, which makes no sense because it was in the media every day. It was household news in Newfoundland. Andrew's parents went to, through their lawyer, the head person said our grandchild was in danger. There were lots of recommendations as to what they should do differently. Whether or not they've been implemented, I honestly don't know. Although I have at least heard through the grapevine that there was some changes to the culture there. But as far as the legal aspect, as far as the bail is concerned, because if you deal with the bail issue, the social services is a non-issue. If she's behind bars awaiting trial where she should have been, child protection wouldn't have had anything to do because Zachary would have been with Kate and David the whole time. That still has not been dealt with, so I'm hoping that as this movie continues to build momentum and I screen it for them, hopefully after the first of the year, that will finally get addressed.
I now had a mission. My movie might be one of the only ways Zachary could see and get to know his father. So I pointed the van east toward Newfoundland and set off on a quest to bring a man back to life.
Since you've been gone, I've lost my cleverness. And since you've walked away, I just can't deal with this.
But I never could have guessed what would happen next.